What an exciting evening it is going to prove to be. And it is good to be back PJNET live after we tore our studio down, took it to Montgomery, Alabama, set it up at the campaign headquarters of the Roy Moore campaign for their victory celebration Tuesday. And then we tore it back down and then we put it back together. We, meaning some, while I was in Montgomery, Sunbelt Girl and her grandson were there helping, but but other than that, it was me. We got to find a better way to do this, but that's my problem, okay? Listen, we have, folks, and I am very, very, very excited with this victory. Now, as you may know, there is a runoff now between the so-called undocumented incumbent, Luther Strange, and Roy Moore, because neither got 50% plus one in the primary, because there were like 9 or 12 or 13, I forget. But Judge Moore wound up about 40% and Luther Strange about 30%. Now, we'll share with you, I actually spent the evening with the campaign manager. His name is Rich Hobson, a wonderful brother in Christ. And we were all tired. It was 1 in the morning and I had to get up at 5. But he did say that, my point or my comment was, well, I guess they got another $8 million they're going to throw at it. And I hope they do. We'll bleed them dry, because the $8 million that they spent did not really move the needle. And he said this, and I don't know what authority he is citing, but this is what he said, and he's a credible guy. Okay, I believe him without him having to corroborate it. He said that big Senate fund where all this money came from with the attack ads, he said if their guy or girl, their candidate, doesn't get 35%, they won't invest any more in them. Well, Luther Strange did not get 35%. So, but nonetheless, I'm sure that there are people out there that will replace that money with other money. So he said, and for about 72 hours, he said after an election, it kind of gets, it's kind of quiet just to decompress. So it took me that long to kind of get back and decompress myself. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Today, I get an email from the Roy Moore campaign. It probably went to a lot of people. It wasn't to me. It was, I'm on a list with about and basically it's a plea for money. Like you all get those emails, don't you? I normally don't read them, to be honest. It's like, get real. But for some reason, I read this one, and it's got the usual propaganda, and it's kind of lengthy, but I want to read verbatim 2 paragraphs out of it. This is from Judge Roy Moore. And I quote, "If I'm elected to the U.S. Senate, I'll join Rand Paul, Mike Lee, and Ted Cruz on the front lines of the fight to drain the swamp." Now, let me just stop there. I was pleased to note, or it is of note, that he mentions Rand Paul. Now, I have always said, we need another Mike Lee and another Ted Cruz, but I always kind of kept Rand Paul a little distant there, because he's more of a libertarian than an evangelical. But I'm glad to see that he himself mentions Rand Paul in this email. Now, if you, quoting Judge Moore, "If you will help me get to Washington, I'll make sure Mitch McConnell is fired from his position as Senate Majority Leader." And the word fired is in uppercase. And he says, "You've got my word on that." Now, when I encounter this kind of talk, I say, really? How are you going to pull that off? But, if Judge Moore says he's going to do something, the reason that I am enthused about Judge Moore is he actually does what he says he will do, and he won't bend, he won't break, he is like an iron peg driven in the frozen tundra. So now, if you all will take yourself to the, in fact, I will give you the link. I'm done with that email now, so I'll dismiss that. Let me show you something. We almost did a Ditch Mitch, okay? But there just wasn't time to tool it up. And I am going to give you the link. If my computer runs kind of slow when I do this, so y'all just kind of bear with me here as I look around my tripod that's right in the way. But here we have a link, if I can get control of my computer. You will see that that hashtag did surprisingly well for a period of time, because there was something in the news cycle. But what that tells me is, and I think intuitively we know this, there is the same sentiment to Ditch Mitch as there was to fire Boehner. And we certainly did hashtag rally after hashtag rally of fire Boehner. Not saying we were the one that caused him to resign, but I can't help but think we might have had something to do with it, along with the rest of the country. Now, what we could do is we can do a Ditch Mitch rally on a day of the week. And I'm going to put together one of those Ditch Mitch, patriotjournalist.com/Ditch Mitch action pages, of its own, with a special blah, blah, blah. We'll dress it up real pretty. But here's the play. The Ditch Mitch rallies, the tweets, the featured tweets will be focused on, guess who? Judge Moore. So the Ditch Mitch rally, now I'm not saying every single tweet, but I would say the vast majority, like 80% or so, depending on what Barbara, Sunbelt Girl, and some other, our tweet team, our tweet curation team, meme making team, okay? So the Ditch Mitch rallies will bring a lot of attention to the Judge Roy Moore for U.S. Senate campaign, using Ditch Mitch as the tip of the spear. So that'll be one day a week. And then guess what? We've got Fridays. We're going to be doing more Senate. So we're really getting 2 days a week here. And you know how once we get it on the schedule, people use this stuff all the time. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I am so excited. And I'll share with you, I was speaking with his campaign manager. He indicated, I don't want to get too far out in the weeds, but there was a guy named Trip Pittman that he got like 5 to 7%. He was way back, but he's a state senator. And I kind of thought of him as kind of an establishment kind of guy, just from the few debates that I watched. He talks good, but I just, for some reason, and he told me, he says, no, we helped him in his elections, and we're good friends. He was almost certain that that Pittman would endorse Judge Moore. Okay, now, but the big bogey in the equation is Mo Brooks, and I said I cannot imagine Mo Brooks endorsing Luther Strange, and he agreed. So that's, if you take Moore's 20% and you take Pittman's 7%, I don't see a path for Luther Strange. I really don't. So, which is the whole idea here. Okay. And so we're good to go. I'm really excited about it, and I just can't wait to release the Kraken. And we'll get cracking. I don't know when I'll put all this together, but I'm off next week. I'll have all day Wednesday and all day Friday, but we only have until September 26th. That's the election, the runoff election. And so we're good. So with that, we will do something. We'll turn it back over to Sunbelt Girl or Steve Hazards or whoever, and we can chat amongst ourselves, because we need to kind of wind up early, and I need to get to work and straighten up this mess. I kind of just shoved all the wires over there. I mean, there's a table just stacked with wires as I was hastily trying to re-engineer our studio. Okay, so I'll turn control back over to Sunbelt Girl, and we'll just continue, and Would love to get your feedback on all this. Talk to you then.